If I go like that, then the mic is miking. Okay, just remember to look up there. All right. Now we'll just hang out and see if anyone shows up. I have a few goals, but I'm not sure if that's actually going to happen. So, hey, if you can hear me, this is my first time live streaming, so I tried it out a few times, but if you can hear me or see me, if we're having any issues, just let me know in the comments. I'm just trying to figure out how this all works. I think I have everything I need. I have the scissors. Yeah. Hi, everybody. And by everybody, I mean lovely person. So if you can hear me and see me, if you want to just let me know, I was thinking about where you're watching from and what you had yesterday, if it was yummy or not. I know I just finished I had a turkey sandwich. I just finished making a loaf of bread because today's actually my work day. Hey, Daryl, nice to see you. Today was the work day for me. My husband's part of his Christmas present for me. You know, I'm stay-at-home mom. He's being stay-at-home dad today, and I got the day to work. So I just finished filming 2 different videos for upcoming couple weeks, and so hopefully my voice stretches out. We'll see how long it goes. So I had a couple different things I was going to do today. I've got some questions that people asked in the last community post that I asked people to ask me questions. South Alabama. I have an aunt in Mobile. It's nice down there. Very, very hot. I don't know how you. God bless you. I couldn't do it. But I was going to talk about answering a few of those questions that people asked. And if anyone wants to ask questions in the comments, I'll take live ones too. But I just figured I would also have a bunch on hand because I wasn't sure if anyone was going to show up today. So I've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll go through questions first, and people can answer if they like. I'll go through questions first, and people can ask more if they like. And then I was going to just share a couple deals that I'd found recently. And over here, I've got this is my to hunt for list. So I've been looking for thick thermal curtains, and if anyone knows of any Black Friday sales or has any small businesses that might produce any of these items, that would be great. They're not fancy Christmas gifts. They're just stuff that that's been sitting on my to hunt for list, and I've been looking to see if there's going to be any deals today. I've been checking on Amazon. I don't know if any of you have been checking. Amazon is garbage today. I haven't found a single deal worth sharing, which is unfortunate. I'd love to be able to share. Here's all this good stuff. I can't find anything. But if any of you have found things, that'd be great. And if any of you don't know, I also, the way I find out if a deal is a good deal or not a good deal, there's a website called Camel. I don't know why they named it that, but you can take the URL of a product. Is this a good deal or not? You take the URL and you put it, like there's a search function in this website, camel, like the animal, camel, and it'll show you the price history of everything. And so you can see, like I just did this I was looking for a KitchenAid mixer attachment, and thank you, Julie. And I was looking for a KitchenAid attachment, and what's the other word for attachment? It's an accessory. So I was like, is this a good deal or not? And I used it and put it in camel. Not a good deal. It's just the same price it always is. But they'd like fudged it to make it look like it was 40% off. It wasn't. So I haven't found any good deals on Amazon yet today. So, but if any of you know where there's good deals on any of those things, I would be very appreciative. Just hunting for those. So I'll take a few of the questions that people put in the community post. So one of the first questions I thought was really interesting, Hazel Davis asked, I wonder if doing things the old-fashioned way is cheaper or if doing things the more modern way is cheaper, like drying clothes, washing dishes, canning meat versus buying meat, etc. Wondering if you have any personal experience with this as well. So I fell down a rabbit hole the other day trying to look up the answer to this question. And then I checked it again this morning and I found the answer in 5 minutes. I was so upset with myself. But it's all super complicated based on what you are. Hi, Chloe. Good luck. Low spend years are tricky. I was looking. So the answer to, is it cheaper to line dry your clothes or is it cheaper to put them in the dryer? So basically what you have to do, because there's no cut and dry answer. If you've got like a 20-year-old drying or a 20-year-old dryer versus like brand new this year Energy Star appliance. Those are going to be very different energy usage kind of things. But if you take the wattage, so like I found I had a 2000 watt dryer, and you can multiply, or so you divide it by 1,000. So now you have two, and you multiply that by how much you pay per kilowatt hour. So here for me in Maine, I pay 9 cents a kilowatt hour. So if you multiply those together, I got for 18 cents, it cost me about 18 cents a load to run it for an hour, which is not that expensive. So, but it's all kind of up to your budget. Like if 18 cents a load, if you're doing like 2 loads a day, every single day, and over the course of a month, that might save you some money. But also, value your time. Like, is your time, if you've got a bunch of, like, I talked about this in the video, you'll see December 4th. So I'm your sneak preview. But if you have a lot of big bulky items like blankets or towels or things, and you can just quickly hang them up, then that's pretty easy. But if you've got like a bunch of little baby socks, I'm not hanging up each individual baby sock and then hope it like that would take me so much time. It is not worth it for me to save that 18 cents for that load in the dryer. I'm just going to chuck all the socks in the dryer. So it's all, there's no cut and dry. Is the old-fashioned way cheaper? Is the modern way cheaper? It's a lot of math actually, and figuring out where you value your time over the amount of savings you have. So that's what I've got for that. But I think it's a wonderful question and worth like doing an entire video on breaking down a few different old-fashioned ways to do things. So that's how I'll answer that one. Josie asked frugal ways or suggestions for cheaper car insurance. Yeah, so we did this one last year. Last year we had to buy the minivan because babies. And so I realized, this might be a good time to look at some new car insurance. So we took, I'd never heard of an insurance broker before. It was a new term to me last year, but maybe it's not a new term to you. Maybe you're smarter than me. And so they're just independent companies that would like to, get commissions from the insurance companies. That's how they make money, is like if they can shove someone to Allstate, then they'll get a commission from Allstate. So that's how they make money. But what they do is they do all the shopping for you. Excuse me. I know my voice is going to be the reason this live stream goes short, but fingers crossed we can go for a while. So if you go to them and you say, hello, I would like cheaper car insurance, please. And they will shop around for you based on what they know about your driving habits and whether or not you've been in a car accident, how old your cars are, how old you are, whether you're married, like all kinds of different factors. They'll ask you to answer a bunch of things so they can accurately find the cheapest car insurance for you. And then their job, they know that you aren't going to go with their business if they can't find the cheapest thing. And so we went, what was the name of the broker we went to? I have no affiliate with them, and I have no idea if they would work for other people. They did work for me. I think it was Answer Financial or Answers Financial. And so we got hooked up with a guy who asked me a bunch of questions. And we went last year from spending $120 a month on car insurance to $60 a month, which we're super duper excited about, because that's a lot of money for like, and it's like I didn't have to do anything aside from that quick phone call. They just gave me all of the savings with just that like little phone call. So that was nice. Unfortunately, car insurance is more expensive now. We had to have our car in the shop this week. And I can see now why insurance is more expensive, because if you need to have your car repaired, labor is more expensive, parts are more expensive. So they kind of have to bake that into the insurance costs that are going up. So it is probably more expensive than it used to be, but it's worth shopping around for insurance. I think I'll probably do it like every year, would be doing it right now. So I guess I'm not doing it that, but probably like at least every 2 years, because that's how the insurance companies make most of their money. They give great introductory offers. And then when you're nice and complacent, they might move it up a little bit, or at least not lower it the way they could have. Whereas if you shop around, everyone else is dying for your money. And so they'll offer you another great introductory offer. So if you don't mind switching car insurance frequently, or, I don't really want to shop for new home insurance frequently, because I don't know about you, but my mortgage lender is terrible with customer service. I hate dealing with them. So I probably won't shop for home insurance as frequently, but car insurance was pretty simple and I liked it. Oh, thanks. Owned by Pedro. I appreciate that. Let's look at another question. If your roof is over 10 years old, home insurance is outrageous. So, oh, thank you, Chloe. This is going on my to-do list. We just got our new roof last year, and someone told me that I need to call my insurance because they might give me a lower discount on insurance. So get home insurance down. Thank you, Chloe. Because yeah, we had to have our roof redone last year because I woke up one morning and there was water coming down on my bed. So that was not pleasant. Someone else. Cold New York. Hey, we're pretty close. I'm over in Maine. Someone else. So let's look at another one of the questions that someone left. This was a very bizarre experience. I don't know what all of you guys talked about around your Thanksgiving tables, but I had pretty much every one of my family members came up to me and they're like, Hillary, I saw your video. I'm like, this is weird. My videos are for the internet, not for the people who know me in real life. But it was a very nice experience, and people had complimentary things to say, and didn't ask me too many questions that I felt embarrassed answering. So that was nice. But someone did ask me, Hillary, how can you support the channel? Because, there's a person in my life who I love very much. And they were like, I'd love to support you. Like, what can I do? And I said, well, and especially because I know the person, like, they're not going to spend lots of money. So how can you help me without spending lots of money? Like, just honestly, someone who was it just mentioned, owned by Pedro, liking the videos. Liking videos tells the algorithm to people are liking this, you should spread it to more people. Sharing videos is very helpful because then other people who might not see it can get to see it. And yeah, those are the two big ones. If you can't spend any money and you're not looking to do anything like that, I appreciate, and just comments, because I really, that's part of the thing that's keeping me going is making relationships. I know Chuck and I know Brenda, and there's some people who comment on almost every video, and I really enjoy getting to know people over the course of comments over the course of videos. So that's a lot of fun. And if I'm having fun, I'm going to keep doing it. What was another question someone asked? How do you afford living on just one income? What steps toward a financial plan did you take, and how did it really go down? So if you don't know, I do have a website too. This project started as a website, and then I moved on to YouTube in January. So it's almost been a full year that I've been on YouTube, which is bananas. But I started with a website, and one of the articles I did write was how did our family go from having two incomes, my husband and I both working, and then going down to one income. And so I have I could probably link that in the description later, not right now because I'm doing other stuff right now, but eventually I think I'm going to take this live stream and make it a video. I could put the link to that article in the description, but it was mostly how do you go? It's expensive right now. And I hear other people talking about how can you possibly make life work with just one source of income? And honestly, so there's two things, but the first one is working like crazy to get out of debt. We spent, I think it was a 1 year plan from the time we're okay, we're pregnant, we're going to have a baby. And then I realized we can't make it work on one income. We ran all the numbers over and over, and I was crushed because when we both got married, we wanted to just have me stay at home. Both of us wanted that. And when we realized it wasn't going to work, I was crushed because I knew I had to go back. I was a teacher, you know, and so we made a plan. We're okay, 1 year from now, here's what we're going to do. Yay, 11 people. My goal is 10. Hello, 11 people. You're lovely. So we made a plan for 1 year. What are we going to do? So we both took overtime. I was a teacher, so I was proctoring SATs when I didn't have to. I was doing sports. Thank you, Shan. I was in coaching sports. What was I going to say? Helping with clubs, taking on extra duties at work. I was doing a lot of that. I started freelance writing, and that's how I got into writing in general. Before I had my own website, I was a freelance writer for other websites. So I was doing all kinds of that extra thing. My husband was, he was a secretary at the time when we first got married, and he didn't want to do that forever. So he decided to go get some certifications and start moving into a career in computer, not tech, like the tech bros of San Francisco, but he's the guy in your office who could fix the computer, that kind of tech. So we started getting some certifications so we could move in a career that way. And we were just we're going to blitz like crazy. We're going to get all of this debt out of here. And then as soon as we can, because when all the debt is gone, so if our expenses were here, but this much of it was debt, then if we bring the debt out of the picture, then this is all we needed. Netherlands, hello, Corinne. Karen, I'm so sorry, I'm bad with names. never been to the Netherlands, but I'm sure it's lovely. If we had like this much debt and we could get the debt out of the picture, then we could coast on just his income. And then if I could bring any extra in, then that could be great. But we made it work. We blitzed like crazy. And of course, the second thing, aside from getting rid of the debt, was just the frugal living. Because even if we had managed to make it on just one income back in 2019, 2020, things are a bit different now. And unless we'd had the habit of having reduced expenses, Germany too. Good evening, good afternoon. I'm not sure. I was hoping that if I made this at 2:00, it would work for some people over on yonder. But yeah, the frugal living, because I hear so many people, I'm not sure if any of you have heard this phrase either online or in person, but like, oh my gosh, I'm making more money than I ever dreamed, and yet I can't get by. We're struggling more than we ever have. We're have to cut more at the grocery store than we ever have. And it's hard for people right now if they haven't practiced being frugal before this year or last year maybe, and they're overwhelmed, not sure what to do. It just feels like you can't out earn your spending. And so that was the other thing we practiced a lot, was just how we were going to be frugal. And I think I've told this story earlier, but like I thought I was going to start with couponing. I thought that was how you had to be frugal. And so I started with couponing, and I'm just sobbing because I can't figure it out. And couponing wasn't the answer. It was, do I have the book? No, it's downstairs. But the book, The Tightwad Gazette, really opened my eyes to, frugal is like, what's the phrase? Use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. Like most money saving tips and strategies are just some variation of that. And that's kind of what I'm doing on this channel, is trying to show people very specific versions of that phrase, because sometimes people need the specifics to understand how it's working. So we did make it to debt, and we do make it on one income very comfortably. And and y'all cheers for my husband, because he's still working really hard for that part. And he just got a promotion yesterday. Or yesterday was Thanksgiving, so the day before. So yay, Alex. And I really appreciate him. Work part-time, snowball method. Yep. Every penny, pay off student loans and vehicles, tax returns. Yes. And people thought we were crazy for using like gift money that people sent us. My husband and I had to have a conversation. Like, do we use Nana's Christmas money for our debt snowball? And oftentimes we did, because we knew it was a short season of our life, and that we weren't always going to have no fun, even with birthday money and things. So struggle with the whole eating out part. Yeah. I have a video. I don't know how other YouTube people make things work, but my method is to have 15,000 ideas and start piecemealing them as soon as I have the idea. So if you were to look in my folder, that's like the videos I'm working on, there's like 20 videos in there that all have like different pieces I've filmed, like B-roll, if you know the term. It's like the stuff, if I'm talking here and I were to superimpose an image of me kneading dough in the kitchen, that image would be the B-roll, because you're still hearing my voice. So I lost my train of thought. Eating out. I have been working on a video of whether eating out is cheaper than buying groceries, because I hear people talk about that, and there is a very clear winner, and I want to prove it. So I'm working on that. Anybody else have any live questions? I'd be happy to talk about those. I've got like 8 more other questions. So Gladys, thank you very much. God bless you as well. Oh, and I should just pull that up. What's that? Julie says, you're welcome, Julie. Myra, oh no, where did my question box go? Oh, I put it on the side. Okay. I've never done the live stream thing, so I do appreciate your patience. Frugal holiday ideas. Yeah, this one's kind of fun. First, the obvious one. The obvious one is just set a budget. So it's hard to say that now in almost December, because the time is upon us and we don't really have any other options. But when January rolls around, we set our budget for the next year's Christmas in January. And so whatever we set the budget for, we divide that by 12 and start saving up every month. And that's hugely beneficial, because then we're not like scrambling at this time of year to find what we need. Other holiday ideas that are frugal. One of my favorite things, I'm still getting my husband to come on board with this, but one of my favorite things is like making like homemade decorations for the tree, like taking the orange slices and drying them like in a dehydrator or an oven, and like stringing them with popcorn. I think that's so much fun, and a fun little project that builds memories with the kids without being crazy expensive. Like going, I don't know, Christmas tree lighting. There's a parade in my town. There's a lot of fun, free things this time of year that all you really have to do is probably like your town plus free things to do, and then stuff pops up. So I would encourage you to find, like, it's going to be very different based on where you live. My town's going to have a tree lighting and a parade, and my kids are going to enjoy that thoroughly. Yeah, I'll talk for a second about some of the things I've found. There's really only, like I said, I haven't found anything on Amazon. I haven't found anything on Walmart. Any of the cheaper retailers, I haven't found any good deals this year. I don't know if any of you are shopping for like Black Friday sales and you found good deals. That would be excellent. Mung bean sprouts. Okay, so Cheyenne, you are growing mung bean sprouts. I think that's a very interesting. My big question, I don't know if any of you have watched The Office, but in this one episode of The Office, Creed sprouts mung beans in his office drawer, and he says they stink like dirty feet or old feet. And so that's the only reason I haven't tried sprouting my own mung beans. But the idea of sprouts in general, I have been looking for like alfalfa sprouts. I have been looking for alfalfa sprouts or broccoli sprouts. I've thought of it a couple times because gardening is lots of fun. Don't smell. Okay, good to know. And my husband would love those things. Do you try perennial gardening to be frugal? Yes. I am a huge proponent of perennial gardening. So anything you plant once and you never really have to do too much with again. So my favorite is my raspberry plants. I planted them like 4 years ago, I think. And this year was bananas. We got so many raspberries and I was so excited. It was like a daily thing for my family to like go out to the raspberry patch and like pick as many as you can eat. We have some left over that we saved. We didn't eat all of them fresh, but it was a huge savings because fresh raspberries are expensive. Jerusalem artichokes, haven't tried that one. That's good to know that they're good for Canadian temperatures because that would be similar to Maine. I'll take the homeschooling question in a second. I would love to do asparagus. I just have to ask my other master gardener friend who I know has a big patch in her yard to have some. I'll probably do that this spring because she's a good egg and she would be happy to give me some, because you have to buy it as like the roots. Yeah. So no, perennial gardening is great for money and time. There's just less you have to do. You don't have to worry about planting it. You might have to worry about like mulching it or something. I got to mulch my strawberries. I thought about that. Okay. Hold on. Strawberries. I will remember. Yes. Yay to perennial gardening. Hugely appreciative. And so now I'll go to the next question. Natalie said, are you planning to homeschool your first child? Mine is almost 5 and can't decide. Our kids are the same age. Currently, my daughter is in a pre-K for a couple days a week for half days, just because we wanted to test it out. I just had the baby and I was a little nervous about whether I could handle doing baby stuff and doing teachy stuff. We haven't decided on what was going to happen for kindergarten. We're just waiting to see how she does with pre-K and if that's been a good experience or bad experience. And yeah, I'm really open to homeschooling though, because when I grew up, all of my friends were homeschooled and in these giant families of 7. And currently in my friend group, pretty much all of my friends homeschool their children. So if I so desired to do so, I would have tons of support and lots of other people who'd be willing to do like groups with me and everything like that. And I think it's a super wonderful thing. I have cousins who are homeschooled too. And yes, homeschoolers rock. It's just about what works best for me and my family and I think it might depend on the child. Tammy, hello. Yeah. I think if we didn't have the option to do just a couple half days a week, it would have been too expensive. And we were even lucky to, never mind. So I'm going to check for a second. I got, yes, Chloe. I would say, from when I went from 1 child to 2, it was in the middle of COVID. So she asked if it's hard going from 2 to 3 children. When I went from 1 to 2, it was in the middle of COVID. So that was very hard for an abnormal set of reasons. I have no idea what it would be like to do that transition in a normal environment in the world. And then, so we went from 2 to 3 more recently. It was it was a hard one. And it's also because my third baby was a bit more colicky. He favored my oldest. And so that can be tricky. But so it really forced me to accept all the help in the world. It forced me to ask for even more help than I thought I needed, and really get super humble about how I'm not Superwoman and how much other people and how other people want to help me. And so it was a way to give them the opportunity to love on me, which was cool. But support system, support system, support system, support system. That's the way we are making it work. And yeah. So, all right, I'm going to pause on the live questions and chat. I just wanted to talk about three of the only three deals I've found so far this year that I've actually thought were worth it. So one of them, I don't know if any of you do this, but I try to look for off-season markdown sales. So, if it's summertime, looking for buying winter coats, because people don't want to buy winter coats in the summer, but you can if you're the smart one. So I think I talked about this in a former video, but in our family, we tend to spend and invest more in things that connect us to the ground, things that are going to have a lot of friction and need a wear and tear, and they need to be built pretty well. So like shoes and beds and like tires, those kind of things. So I got a new pair. I haven't actually opened them yet. I figured I could do that, but I have been using the same pair of flip-flops for the last 4 years. They're literally breaking in half. Like anytime I take a step, there's like rocks that get caught up in this crack. So I needed a new pair. And there's this one brand of shoes that we really like. And I saw that they were having a 70% off sale if you bought. Oh, they gave me blue ones. Oh, well. Oh, no, maybe I did decide on blue ones. I'm sorry if this audio is bad here. I'm going to mute it so you don't hear all the wrapping paper opening. There we go. Yeah. Silly me. I'm so sorry. You can all hear me, I think. Yeah, so these are colorful. So these are Zero shoes. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Shark Tank. They make shoes. And I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to have the first new pair of flip-flops that I'll have or these aren't flip-flops, I don't know, sandals. But so they were 70% off. So I saved $50 on the shoes, and I was very excited because I desperately needed new ones. So if you can see if there's any markdown sales for season, if you can shop on the off season, that's always super helpful. I also wanted to just share, I think I mentioned a couple minutes ago, for those of you who are just coming in, I started this whole project of Homegrown Hillary as a website. And I got for Christmas not my birthday 2 years ago, my husband gifted me a course. One of those courses where people teach you how to do the thing. And it was about how to work on your website and turn it into a big thing that can help support your family. I thought, that's nice. And then I learned after I got into it that it also had this YouTube component. So you could learn how to do YouTube videos too. So I started doing that, and you're here, it must have worked so well that you bothered to keep watching my videos. I was trying to learn just how to get my message across, especially because YouTube and frugal living it's a hard thing, because people just want to sell you stuff and they want to make all kinds of money, and it's hard where I'm trying to save people money that I can't just say, hey, buy this, hey, buy this, hey, buy this. I try to only talk about things. I try to only talk about things that I've actually tried and put my entire Hillary stamp of approval on. Is my stamp over there? Do have a little stamp, but I don't think it's over there. But so I left the link in the description. The course is called Income School. They have a free YouTube channel for how to do their blogging and how to do their website. They've got 2 separate channels if you want to just binge watch all of the free information they have online. But I also have a link in the description if you want to see it. It's I think it's $50 off if you sign up for their thing. Thank you, Natalie. I stand behind what they taught me, and it's been hugely beneficial. And I ended up re-upping after a year because it was very worthwhile money to learn how to do this, because I would like this to be a thing that helps support my family without being salesy and sleazy, and just genuinely being helpful is what I would like. So, and the third, what was the third one? Oh yeah, if any of you saw that video on how I've been saving money on medical costs, saw that I got that sponsor Fitties. They sent me the glasses, And you can see my softbox light. But they're having a sale today only for 20% off if you want sunglasses. The last pair you have to buy, which I love those. So I wear them all the time and I genuinely like them. So I have a link for them in the description too for 20% off today only. And if you're just new here, these are also the things I'm looking for. If you know of any good deals, this is the big things on my to hunt for list that have, some of them have been there a very long time. The curtains are a funny story. I tried to wash my old curtains in my bedroom, and it turns out the cheap Walmart curtains, you can't get them hot because then they melt everywhere. Didn't know that. I thought I had put cold cycle on my washing machine and I didn't. And so I ruined all of the curtains in my bedroom, and they still kind of function as curtains, but not as blackout curtains, not as thermal curtains at all. Just melted away. It was gross. So I need new thermal curtains because our bedroom is very, very, very cold. I'm gonna have all of that back. So I will take some more questions. We've been here for a half hour. Hey, everybody. What a good half hour it's been. And my voice hasn't given up yet, so that's always nice. Porter wanted to know, this is from the community post a couple days ago or a week ago. He wanted to know if I've ever done a community swap. He says, I love the idea of things getting fresh appreciation because they are new to you. And technically, like as an event where everybody comes and they bring their goods and everybody swaps it around, I've never done that. I've definitely planned them out in my head, like, you know, how when you're bored in the car or something and driving along, I plan out those kind of community events too, because I think they'd be fun. But I don't have any experience in actually attending them. The only thing I can say is the idea of like things that are old to you getting fresh appreciation for somebody else. Love that idea. And that's what I use our Buy Nothing group for. I will talk about Buy Nothing till the cows come home. It's the only reason I still have a Facebook account. Oh yeah, someone asked if I had a Facebook group. I do. Technically, not a group, but like a presence on Facebook where I post my videos when I try to remember them. It gets very neglected. Mostly it's just there so my mom can see whenever I post a video. I think, but it's there. So I don't have enough time to moderate an entire Facebook group where other people are chatting. That is one thing I feel like this whole Homegrown Hillary project is lacking, is a way for like other people. Like, so right now it's like you and me hanging out, but I'm also hanging out with this guy and this guy. But if you all could like chat with each other, that would be a really cool thing. And I'm just looking for a way that can happen that doesn't really involve a bunch of hours on my part, because I'm pretty maxed out on time as it is. So I have a Facebook account for myself that's like, I don't have any friends and I just use it for my Buy Nothing group. And it's been, I forgot to talk about that in my last video. Dang. Well, I could talk about it here. I had some very good luck on Buy Nothing. So you guys will get to hear about it. And my video on how I saved money in December just is missing this part, but that's okay. I had very good month on Buy Nothing. I ended up meeting a viewer who lives near me, and she was getting rid of an old ukulele, and my daughter wanted a ukulele for Christmas. So that was a cool thing that we got. And my son is getting a tricycle. Oh my gosh, it was like a really good quality, like radio flyer, like with a little stand on the back. He's gonna love it. I can't wait. I don't make my own bar soap. It's my newest frugal endeavor. The only thing I'm worried about with bar soap is, don't you have to use lye? I'm nervous. It makes me nervous that I don't want to burn myself or anything. I love bar soap though, in general. Like, bar soap is my preferred method of soap. I find that I can make it last a lot longer than I can make a bottle of liquid soap last. So it's something that I might get into at some point, but I haven't started yet. It just makes me nervous. What is another question that someone asked? Did that one. Someone wanted to know, so lots of questions about my husband, Alex, because we had that video of him last week. Just wanted to know our story and how I knew he was the one and all that kind of good stuff. If you're interested. So we met online, and I had in my profile, I live in Maine and I'm going to stay in Maine. And so if you're interested in me, you're going to have to move to Maine eventually, just because that was important to me. And I figured I'd get that out there. So anyone who didn't want to move to Maine could just cross me off his list and move on with his life. And it worked. And he was living in DC at the time. And so we found each other, and we had a long distance relationship for a few months. And So we met in March, December. No, that's not how months work. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So 7 months after we met, we got engaged. And then like another 6 or 7 months after that, we got married because we knew. And it wasn't, it was very, I mean, we're religious people. So we were very, we felt very called that this was the right thing. We were moving in the right direction. And we do have a couple good stories about how that call was confirmed, but I'll leave that for another time. See if my husband is okay with me sharing that. But we met online, and now we're here, and it's good. And somebody else, I didn't write down the name of the person who wanted to know, but somebody else wanted to know my husband's diet. I mentioned that he's vegan and why he's vegan, and how do we make mealtime work when it's me and 3 kids, and he's got his own thing. And it was a surprise to me. So it was like a year and a half ago. He presented this to me. He's like, this is how I'm going to eat now. And I know it's sudden, and I'm just going to take care of all my meal prep. And you don't have to worry about me, but I just wanted to let you know that this is important to me, and this is what I'm going to do now. I said, oh, okay. And it was a surprise. It was a surprise, but I didn't realize until after we talked more about it that, for years and years, he had this evolving. He'd had different times when he'd done no meat, other times when he'd done no meat and no animal products, and just other reasons had led him to go back to a omnivore diet. Just other roadblocks, and now that he was, he could do it on his own, he did, and it's mostly a health, from a health perspective, and then a good fair sprinkling of ethical reasons. So there's a lot of different things working on in the mix. Oh, hi. Yes, Kaden's from Maine. She actually, I'm nervous. I'm nervous to message her, but she lives quite close to me, and so I've been wanting to, or I assume she does based on her PO box, and I want to message her and be like, hey, we should meet up. But yeah, oh no, my ring. I don't know if any of you guys are fiddlers. There goes my ring. I'm a fiddler. One time I was playing with my ring and I flung it, and it got stuck behind a radiator in a coffee shop when I was chatting with my dad. And so we went to get a box of tools, and we undid the radiator in the coffee shop and got my ring out from behind the radiator. And that was fun. Where was I? Vegan. Yeah. So meal times at our house. So a lot of the things I've done are taking some base meals that are economical and can be customized to your preference. So like baked potato bars, a lot of stir fries, Mexican burrito type things, tacos, soups. There's a lot of things that a base layer is veggies and maybe beans. And then if I want to, I'll add in some cheese or some meat, or if my kids want to add in some cheese and some meat. Although most of the time my kids are, they're little kids. They've got 14 different cups of things, or sections of things, because I don't want the food to touch. But that's what we've mostly done. And I've switched out, in the process of making that base meal, I just don't use as much butter. I'm using a lot of, buddy. No, she didn't. Well, okay. All right, dreams coming true today. That's fun. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Okay. This is the best. All right. But so when I've been making my meals, I substitute oil for butter, or coconut oil, vegetable oil, olive oil, all of the oils, and instead of using butter. And that's kind of how I've made that work. There's a lot of other substitutions I've learned that I've never known before I started having to do this. So yesterday, I made a Dutch apple crumb pie. That's, my husband is from Pennsylvania, and the Pennsylvania Dutch Amish people, they do the crumb toppings. This was a new thing for me, but he really loved it, and so I'm like, I'll make you one. And the whole pie was just a normal pie, except instead of having on top of it the butter and sugar and flour and stuff, it was just coconut oil and brown sugar and flour, and it's gone. I made 2 pies. They're both gone. Everyone devoured them, and then they're like, "What? They're vegan?" It's like, yeah. People don't think vegan foods are delicious, but they are, because oftentimes it's just normal stuff with couple little tweaks. So, but the other thing about the way my husband eats is, I mean, vegan is just a term that people understand. Like if you say vegan, a lot of times people know what a vegan is. But if you're going to be more specific, he would prefer the term whole food plant-based, which is mostly, because a person who's just plain vegan, they would be comfortable eating like Beyond Burgers and Oreos. And there's a lot of foods that are like junk foods, but actually are vegan. And he would prefer to eat, for health reasons, the whole food plant-based. So he doesn't do Beyond Burgers unless we're like doing a big road trip and it's a Burger King and it's the only thing around. We do a lot of beans and a lot of tofu. My kids eat raw tofu by the pound. I don't know why they like it so much, but they do. They see us cutting up the tofu and they come over with their little hands and they just start grabbing at it. And then I don't have as much to make for dinner, but that's okay. They're adorable enough, and it's good for them, so I'll have them eat it. So yeah, that's the story on my husband's eating. And it's been someone asked me if I had any tips, and I really don't, because I feel like I'm still learning how to make it work well for a family, especially as things keep changing, as kids' diets and preferences change. Like there's just a lot of evolving that I don't feel like I have any good tips on that right now. So does anybody else have any other questions on things you're wondering what's cheaper and what's not? I'd be happy to chat about stuff. Cheyenne asked, what do you think of the show Extreme Cheapskates? It cracks me up. Some of the stuff I see on there makes you laugh. The only episode I've ever seen of Extreme Cheapskates is, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with the YouTuber Jordan Page, formerly of funcheaporfree.com. She was on that show, Extreme Cheapskates, and I watched, I think at least it used to be, I don't know if it's still up on her channel, but her very first video was her watching herself be on Extreme Cheapskates and talking about the process of filming that episode and what was real and what was reality TV, like done up and fixed up. But I thought it was interesting. Mostly that watching her talk about the reality of that show kind of turned me off watching the show itself. She mentioned, like, I think there was one part of the episode where she like counted the squares of toilet paper that her children could use to go to the bathroom. And like they had their own little sections. And if you ran out of toilet paper in your section, like, I actually don't know what you would have done. I don't remember that part. But she said that they basically took practices that are normal and useful and just exaggerated the heck out of them. So like she had like counting out Cheerios and how many Cheerios her children could eat. And she's like, I don't only let my children eat 5 Cheerios, I promise. Like we talk about portion control in my family, and they kind of just like super exaggerated that, because it's a TV show and they want to get ratings and stuff. So I have no interest in being on reality TV or honestly just letting anybody else take my practices and ideas and like turn them into their own version of me. Like I'd rather be me being the one talking about things in the way that I would prefer it to be portrayed. So my voice is going a bit now. Did everybody have a good Thanksgiving? I noticed there were a few people from Europe, and so you didn't celebrate Thanksgiving yesterday, but it's been very nice at my house that we had, my husband had yesterday and today and the weekend off, obviously. So we hung out with my family, and we had different aunts coming in from all over, and we lost some grandparents in the last couple of years, and so it's been, meals, like holiday meals, get different when you've lost people. And so relearning how to do holidays without those people and kind of starting new traditions while still keeping their memory honored has been like, I felt like this year we kind of hit some equilibrium, and it was really nice. I had a great day yesterday. I hope you all did too. Oh yeah, she went to the neighbor's house with a basket and asked if they had any leftovers. Yeah, that's my husband and I were talking about that yesterday, or I think it was yesterday, the day before, about how just the concept of going to the neighbor's house for a cup of sugar, just not only does it not exist, but if I were to do that, if I were to go knock on my neighbor's house, even the neighbors that I like and I have a relationship with, if I went over there to knock on their house and ask for a cup of sugar or an egg or two, I would feel so incredibly rude. Like, at least in the American culture that I experience, like if you can't like if you can afford your groceries, you need to go get your own groceries. Like you don't just ask your neighbors to give you those things. Like that person would be either incompetent or selfish or I don't know, something else. That's how I have experienced it. But it's sad. Like I think it would be nice if we could have the relationships and take care of each other in nice ways. But one of the things I was wondering is whether or not, I don't know if the gentleman from the beginning, what's his name, Daryl from Alabama, is still here. I'm not sure if he could tell me if the things are different in the South, like if it's still acceptable to go get a cup of sugar from the neighbors if you live in the South half of the USA. Because my biases is that they're nicer down there. They're more willing to take care of the neighbors than us individualistic bootstrap New Englanders. I don't know if that's just a complete stereotype, but who else? Lady who made 6 figures and dug through the garbage for food and served it to her dinner guests. That's a big no-no. That's a big no-no. There's a very interesting subreddit. I don't know if you're familiar with the website Reddit, and they've got these different communities. They're all about very specific different topics. And there's one called dumpster diving that I think is very interesting. But they all talk about like the different they all talk about the culture of dumpster diving, and there are kind of like these certain unwritten rules. And one of them is don't serve garbage dumpster food to people who haven't said, yes, I would be okay with eating dumpster food. That's just not okay because other people, yes, the gross face. Chloe, I'm from North Alabama. It would be a little awkward, but we would do it. Okay, good to know. Yeah, I never experienced that. Doing service acts for each other is something I'm still familiar with. Like when it snows up here, like all the time. One neighbor shoveling out the other neighbor. Like I've got a neighbor who's a firefighter, and sometimes he's gone, and wife and kids are home alone, and so my husband will go and like shovel for them, and my dad will shovel for elderly neighbors. That's like a thing we do. But doing things for other people, yes. Asking other people to do things for you, no. People just balk at that, I guess, a little bit. Yeah, I had a big list. Get it down here. I had a big list because today was my Hillary gets to do work stuff day, which I've never had an entire day to just get stuff done. So I filmed 2 videos. I'm filming this now. And if my voice holds out, I am going to try to film a 3rd, because one of the things our goals this year was to get all of the Christmas shopping done before the season of Advent starts. So that's on December 3rd. Get all the Christmas shopping done so we can just have chill, not this rush holiday, go get before Christmas, because we'd like to spend some time preparing simply for Christmas and spending good quality time with our family instead of running around trying to find all the deals. So we were trying to get everything done before Christmas, and I've already lost my train of thought. So I wanted to film a bunch of videos now before Advent starts, so I also don't have to feel like I've got to take time away when I'd like to be spending time with my family before Christmas, but taking time away to actually make videos and everything. So hopefully I'll have a bunch of videos at the end of today filmed, some of them edited, and I can really just relax and enjoy pre-Christmas, and then like chat with people in the comments, obviously, whenever videos go live. But what has been my best find? Ooh, that's a great question. I really like my hutch. So if you have seen some of the videos that I have filmed where there's like a big brown hutch behind me, that hutch was an excellent find. I found that on like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, and I think we bought it for probably $100, but the woman found it on the side of the road. It was she found it. It was her version of the road basket. She found this beautiful hutch on the side of the road, and so she got it for free. And the thing I love most about that hutch is that there's these little doors, like stained glass window doors, and you open it, and the smell inside there is just like my grandfather's house, and he has since passed away. So it's very nice still. I mean, we've had that hutch for a couple years now, and still every time I open the door to the hutch, it still smells like my duh, and that's a really nice feeling. So I don't know if that's like the find that's been like financially like the greatest amount of savings. Furniture in general is the category of furniture certainly wins the things we've done well with. I think like every item of furniture in my house, aside from the couch and the mattress, was thrifted or marketplaced or free on the side of the road, because we just realized we had other priorities when we got married and we wanted to start a family. We had other priorities than like immediately creating this beautiful house. Hello, big bubbles pop. Thank you. Um, we realized we had other things we cared about than having this beautiful house that looked just like Better Homes and Gardens. So everything is from Marketplace. Oh, yeah, my husband has a really nice like drafting stool over there that I got that one, and it was like half off. Our kitchen table, all of the furniture. Well, some of the furniture in my bedroom was not thrifted, but like my father made it for me when I was a child, because he was in carpentry, and he made furniture, and so it's still going strong, because that's what happens when you have hard wood, not particle board wood. It lasts a really stinking long time, and I expect that to still be there. Like I can pass that on to my kids when they need it. Oh yeah, and all the stuff in the kids' rooms, everything's been thrifted. It's this beautiful mismatch. And so I have a friend who she calls them house pimples. That you just have these little bits of your house that don't kind of all work together, and some people might look at them like I don't think there's any in this room, but I have some spaces where the previous owner of this home like didn't paint the walls perfectly, and there's all these like little marks, and my friend is like, oh yeah, those are house pimples, everybody's got them. And I just thought that was a lovely term, and I've been thinking about it because I don't care about pimples on my own face, so why would I think about pimples in my house? Got a question. I'm in a slump. What is something I can do that will motivate me to declutter, to clean? Well, you're coming to the wrong place for cleaning advice, my friend. I am never going to be one of those channels that talks about how to clean. I'm never going to be a channel that talks about how to clean. We did just recently declutter our basement though. And the only thing that I have found, and this goes for cleaning in terms of big projects and also cleaning in terms of daily projects, is there's a term in some communities called a body double, which is not someone who like does the work with you. I mean, they can be, but just like literally having another person who's existing right in your physical space, who just is going to watch you. And if you don't do the thing, they're going to be like, you're not doing the thing. And so when recently we cleaned out my basement, and my parents took my kids to help watch them, and so my husband and I could blitz in the basement together. And so just knowing my parents were there, and they were here for a limited time. Oh, my battery's about to die. Pause 1 second. I'm gonna charge. My charger is right here, though. I don't have to go to Spain. I should have plugged in beforehand. That was silly of me. All right. So I knew my parents were only here for a short amount of time, and this was the time I had to clean. And if I wanted to get it done, it had to be right now. And having that really tight deadline was like, okay, well, it better be now. I'm just going to go for it. It's also how I found just daily stuff getting done. We have these, oh my gosh, I love my teenage girlfriend. These two teenage girls have got them coming over the house sometimes, like a mother's helper. I'm not sure if this was a new term to me when I became a mom, but mother's helper is just like a teenager or preteen girl who comes and plays with your kids so you can get other stuff done, but the mom is still in the house. So you don't have to like pay for this person to be totally responsible. It's mostly just to distract your kids so you can get stuff done. And I find that super motivating to have this other presence in the house. And I know she's only here for 2 hours. And so when my mother's helper is here, it's my cue. Okay, I'm going to go, I'm going to do stuff. And having that like deadline, even if it's kind of an artificial deadline, definitely helps me motivated to get stuff done. Yeah, that's my option, or my only advice I have on that. But cleaning in general is not my forte, so I don't have much good advice on that. Biggest purchase regret is an interesting question. Biggest purchase regret. I mean, in general, in my life, well, here's the interesting thing. So when we purchased this house, we purchased it a month before we got married. And then a month after we got married is when we learned about Dave Ramsey and budgeting and all of that stuff. And so as we were learning how to make a budget, what a financial life together looks like, we realized, oh my, we should not have bought this house. It was something ridiculous. Like, you're supposed to keep your house purchase like within a certain percentage of your total income. I think it was like 40% of our total income for us. Like it was too expensive for what we were making at the time as like a very young new teacher and a secretary. It wasn't fabulous. And so we knew part of the answer to that was going to be, getting income up in other ways, but it felt real dumb. And we also we got, I'm not going to get into all the details. That's a little personal, but we had a lot of signs that were like, you shouldn't buy this house. You shouldn't buy this house. Oh, here's another reason why you probably shouldn't. This is an artificial roadblock. You probably shouldn't buy this house. And we did, because we got house fever, and you thought, oh, when you get married and you got to buy a house, that's what people do. And it was mathematically not a good decision. However, it was a lucky decision because we ended up buying our house just a couple years before COVID and crazy house prices. And so now, looking at the price of homes in our area, they've doubled. So if we had waited and made what was mathematically a smarter decision, it would have been a much worse decision just because of the luck of the draw and how things went. So we don't regret buying our house. So maybe that didn't really answer your question. We did for a while. We did regret buying the house, and we wondered a couple times if we should sell it and get rid of the debt and just go rent for a while. And, hindsight, I'm glad we didn't, but mathematically it was not a good decision. Eat that frog. What's some other things, especially with little kids? Yes. Yeah, it's okay, the baby is finally down for a nap. Go, do all the things. Yeah. Little kids have these little cycles, and it's very easy to motivate yourself because you only got so much time in the cycle. Yeah, that's useful. Atomic Habits are a great book to deal with procrastination. I have heard good things about that book. I've never read it myself, but yes, I've heard good things about that book. But if I had to pick an actual purchase that I actually regret, I feel like I had one recently. No, I don't regret. I try not to dwell on my regrets. I try to look at anything that happened and looking at that decision in context. Could I have made a better decision with the information I had available with me? Maybe not. And even if I could have made a better decision and chose not to, forgiving myself and giving myself the grace and not dwelling on that regret, because that I just haven't found it to be very productive. I have such limited time to think about stuff and do stuff, and I'd rather do fun things like make YouTube videos. I don't know if I can say. I don't know if I can say I actively regret any purchase. I probably could. You will watch. I'm going to be trying to fall asleep tonight and be like, "Oh, that's the thing I regret." Maybe I'll make a community post and I'll share it with you later. But I think I'm going to have to end this, my friends, because my voice is quickly dying. So I will have to say, I'm going to have to say goodbye. So I have a voice to read my kids' bedtime stories and everything tonight. But thank you so much all for hanging out with me. And if you guys kind of like this style of video, maybe I'll do more of them, but maybe not, because it's hard to find this kind of time at a good hour. It's not like 10 o'clock at night Eastern time when my kids are asleep. But I appreciate all of you, and I will see you all in the comments if you'd like on Monday's video. What's Monday's video going to be? Oh, Monday's video is 10 old-fashioned money-saving skills worth learning, or something like that. I might fudge the title, but something like that. So I will see you in that video on Monday. Bye, YouTube. How do I pick two? I gotta end.